one of the key things of maintaining and looking after your website, Google Search Console. Again, it's free. You can sign up for this anytime you want and connect it up to the back of your website to help you with a whole bunch of things. So let's get into it. So what is Google Search Console? So it's a whole bunch of tools aimed at a webmaster, so somebody looking after their website. And it gives them a whole lot of information on how your website's performing, how Google sees your pages, what kind of errors you have, you know, what kind of crawling it's found. And it kind of helps you fix problems in the back of your website to help Google kind of lift your website up into Google search if anybody's looking for what you offer. So what can Google search do for you? So it helps with improves your visibility through search. It gives Google an accurate snapshot of your website as it currently stands. And then it gives you the ability to fix things that are broken. Google does a scan on your website and tells you various things which we'll cover through the rest of the session. If you're planning to do a Google ad, for example, that's a topic we'll cover in the coming sessions. This also shows you how people are finding your website. So what are the keywords they're using in Google search? So when they type, you know, I'm looking for pink LA Bloomer tackies in Johannesburg, it'll show you what they've typed and how many times it's been typed. So it helps you build better SEO on your website and also helps you plan any ads that you want to do better. It also offers you a bit of protection on your website against malware and spam, which is always great. That's something that people don't always think about on the website. I know we think about it on our PCs, but we need to do the same on websites. And then it also helps you kind of lift your game on Google search, and it helps if you work with Google and Search Console on your website, fixing all the errors. It helps Google raise your search capability. So if somebody's looking for you, it will put you closer to the front page or closer to the top of the first page. Then I think the one very key thing that Google helps you with immensely is mobile, accelerated mobile pages. So basically that means it helps you make your website mobile friendly. I mean, we've all got mobile devices today, may it be an iPad or an iPhone or some sort of smartphone. You're always searching the internet on your phone. If your website's not mobile ready, you're probably gonna have to scroll left and right to see the whole page and read the article or whatever you've put on the website. Google will scan your pages and tell you this is not mobile ready. So it'll give you things like text is too small, or you know, there's items that are too close together, so you can't, you know, click on them from a mobile device. It gives you some really good information. It also shows you your site popularity, so backlink analysis. So not many people know about this, but the more backlinks you have to your website from other websites helps you improve your SEO and your search findings within a Google search. So what a lot of bloggers do, as an example, they will reach out to companies. I'll use CNET as an example. They're forever doing reviews and things on technology. They will write an article for, let's say, Apple, and they will link that article back to a page on Apple's website. That is called a backlink to Apple's website. So Apple has received that backlink and it helps their site popularity. So if somebody searches for Apple, you know, it shows they're quite popular as a company. We know they are, but as an example. It helps you also speed up your website. So it helps you make it fast and responsive. It kind of gives you an idea, you know, which pages are slow, which are not, you know, how it's being previewed when people actually click on your links and go to your website. And it tells you which pages are slow, and you can go and remediate it. I'll take you through some of the things later. There's a lot of information in Search Console, and there's a lot of help, which makes it very easy to understand what it can do for you. And then also any changes you make on your website. If you use the Search Console correctly, you can tell Google, I've just added a new page, or I've removed products, or I've just changed the pricing on products and I've added some nice descriptions. Please have a look at this. And then again, it helps you get found a lot easier. So I'm going to take you through, setup for Google Search Console is quite quick, quite easy. Last week I mentioned, I think the first thing you need to do is create yourself a Gmail account, which is free for your business, and link your Google My Business to that. Use the same account in Search Console. I've left a link. It's in the PDF that I've sent that you guys will get later, which you can kind of click on and start your own Search Console profile. It's quite easy. As you can see here, if you add a property, this property is your website URL, so www.mycompany.com or .co.za. It will then take you through another step that says we need to verify it. This is quite technical, but it can be quite easy. If you've got access to the root folder of your website, you can just upload this little HTML file that allows you to download. There are other options available. So if you're using Google Tags or Google Analytics, you can link the two accounts, and that verifies your website. The other way, which is quite technical, you might ask your service provider, the people hosting your website, to load a new text DNS record for you. Any one of those options has got a little full details button, and it kind of walks you through the steps. So if you go to the domain name provider, it says to send this email to your service provider and ask them to add this for you. As soon as they've added it, you come back to this page and you click verify. And Google will say, cool, I see your website, I'm happy, and you can start working on your Search Console. So the first thing that you've got to do once you've got your Search Console set up and your links, your domain is registered, is load a sitemap. If you don't have a sitemap, there are ways of creating a sitemap. On a content management system like WordPress, there's a plugin called Yoast SEO. It will automatically create you've got to click a little button on it and it will create your sitemap for you. And then you fill in the link over here, and it's generally sitemap_xml.html or something to that effect. You submit it, and Google starts scanning your website. It'll run through all your pages, all your links. It'll start scanning through pages, looking at the format of pages, and start investigating, what your website looks like and how it will present it to people that search for your capabilities or products. So in the Search Console, under the tools, there's a crawl option. So the crawl option with your sitemaps, this is where you'll see potential errors with the crawl. So it will come back and say, you've got a broken link. So you've got a link to a specific page, but the page doesn't exist anymore. And it allows you to go back, fix that link, or rerun the crawl to make sure that it's picking up the right stuff again. Okay, I'm going to flick over to a live demo. Let's see if you've got this up, and I'll take you through some of the customers that we look after at the moment. Let's move that out the way. So same customers last week, Abacus Locksmith. We helped them with their website. So once you're logged in and everything's set up, this is the overview page when you come into Search Console. And it shows you a little bit of information about your website. So performance, your coverage, and the coverage is about what's happening on your page, and then potential enhancements. Let's click on the performance report. I'll show you what capabilities you have access to. So here we have a look at how many clicks you've had over the past 30 days, how many impressions you've had, what's your click-through rate, and then your average position on the page. Obviously, the lower the number, the better. What's nice with this report is you can kind of have a look and compare it. So at the moment, we're looking at the last 3 months, and we want to compare it to the previous 3 months for the previous. You can go back as far as the same 3 months last year, or whatever you kind of want to compare with. So we're going to look at the last 6 months basically and compare the first 3 months with the second 3 months. So as you can see, previously on the clicks, the amount of clicks has grown onto their website. They've had a ton more impressions. Their click-through rate is, we can work on that. So this is the kind of information that you can see and help to enhance and make your site better. And the average positions dropped a little bit. So we've got a bit of work to do on the website. If we click on the little question mark here, it gives you a little bit of a help on what it is that you're looking at. If that doesn't make any sense to you, there's a learn more button. And I think I've clicked on something that talks about impressions, positions, and clicks. I mean, it's very comprehensive. And it gives you an idea of, what these numbers mean and how you can make things better, what's not working, what's working, and how to basically read the stuff to understand what's happening. Go back here. So I think the other thing I mentioned was, let's change this to.
Is this AuthSA website or AuthJet website?
Which one? The one that we're looking at?
Yeah.
No, this is, I was showing you a customer of ours called Abacus Locksmith.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So back to the verification. I mean, I'm just taking a step back. On Abacus Locksmith, they're asking under this profile, we need to verify the domain. So it's asking me to create a DNS record, as I mentioned, copy the TXT record below, which is that, and create the new TXT record in your DNS and then verify it. So we haven't done this yet on this profile. I just wanted to use this as an illustration. This is part of the verification process. If you haven't done this yet, you can always verify it later and then come back and create the verification. Okay, so in the last 3 and 6 months, you can kind of see how people are finding these guys. So we can change the way we see things by clicking on the name, and it'll change, the amount of impressions, and you can turn it the other way around. You can see the click-through rate, and you can change it. So what this helps you with is kind of say, if I want to create a Google ad, these are the ways people are finding me and my website. Or if you want to write a blog or something about your business, these are the kind of keywords people are looking for. So if you want to drive them to your blog, you've got to try and incorporate some of these keywords, not all of them, into your blog. On the pages, it shows you, that doesn't look good, it shows you the pages that you've seen. I'm just going to change this view to no compare. You can kind of see which pages have been getting the most clicks, the most impressions. And if it's something you've just created, if you click on the link, it can kind of tell you, a bit of information about it. You've got impressions. You can sit there and think, well, this is not working. I haven't got any clicks on this. Why? I'm assuming in this case, there's probably no links in the page. So there's nowhere to click. So it's been seen 185 times, but no one's clicked anywhere on the page. So if it's something you want to do about with creating backlinks or internal links to other pages on your website, you'd put them on the page. In this case, if you haven't got one, we could always go into the back end of the website and create one. On the country side, it kind of gives you an idea of where people are clicking from. Let's see. That's just on the one page. Let's go back. There. So I've often had questions about why are people from the other side of the world looking at my website when it's about 0 today? I used to work at a company called IBM, and if we ever looked on clicked on a page in South Africa, it would look like we were sitting in the States because of the way they've got their internal network set up. So you may have a couple of these coming from the States, but the majority of them are probably working for a local American company, as an example. In devices, as you can see, a lot of people look at this website through devices. There's 15,000 impressions over the last 30 days. This is quite important for these guys. They need a mobile-friendly website. Obviously, you don't want to be on your mobile scrolling left and right, up and down, looking just to read some small article or find their telephone numbers. So while if there's errors, you can go back to your developer or do it yourself, change the page so that it becomes mobile friendly. In this case, these guys are most of their customers and visitors are from mobile. So we'd make sure that they've got accelerated mobile pages. I'm not going to go through that. Oops. Then let's go and have a look at why is that. There we go. So the coverage, it will take you through, which pages it has scanned, which is excluded, and the excluded pages could have been pages you don't want to be read anymore, or you've deleted, or you've moved them from published to draft, and then you can click on the links below here. So basically, this is there's 136 pages with no index tag. It basically says you don't want this page to be found, and if you want, you can go and see which pages there are and change the settings to make it indexable if you wanted it to be indexable. And then you can see all the different errors you've got here, and you can work through them. Obviously, the fewer errors you have, the better. This is what Search Console is all about. It helps you fix things in the back of in the backup end of your website. So these pages are currently not indexed. We could probably go and tell Google to re-scan this page and put it in the index so that if anybody's looking for a broken key, how to get a broken key out of a lock, they could find the page easier. So that's coverage in a nutshell. Then let's go to sitemaps. This was the first step I think we needed to take once you've got Search Console set up. As you can see here, here's the sitemap_index.xml file that we've submitted by typing it into the URL here. And it tells you the last time it was read on the 7th of June. We submitted a new site index on the 7th of June, and the status is successful. It recognized it, it read it, and it's scanning through the website. And I think Google does that once or twice a month. Then, each one of these blocks at the top here, you can click it, you can to show it or remove it. If you want to focus on issues only, you can take everything else out and just look at the issues. Pages that are valid, well, generally you wouldn't really want to look at that because it's all good. Things that are excluded, as I said, these are items we can go and have a look at and repair on the back of your website if it's something that you want to be included in the search. There's a removal section that allows you to, remove other websites that are connected to you, or to remove pages that you no longer want to be accessed. So if you've got a specials page that's only valid from a date to a date, you can go and add it in here and say, please don't remove it anymore. The one thing we must remember when you're doing this is if you're trying to remove an external site, you will lose the rating that they bring with. So as I mentioned earlier, we were talking about backlinks. So if you've got a backlink from a website and their rating is higher than yours, you inherit part of that rating, and it lifts your website up in a search result. If you remove that, you lose that bit of the rating. So just keep that in mind, and it's permanent until you get a new backlink in place. Have a look at some of the enhancements. So this kind of tells us, you know, what's working, what's not working, where we can improve. Luckily, we don't have any required improvements. We've got a couple of poor URLs. We can kind of dig into this and find out which ones they are. So here it's telling us how these pages are taking longer than 4 seconds on mobile to load. So we could click into this, dig a bit further, and find out which page it is. So we can go into the back of this website and compress images or put smaller images in, reduce the amount of text if there's too much text, anything that could be kind of affecting the loading of the page. And then, I mean, we would want to reduce this to probably load 2 seconds. Once you've done that, in the back end of the website, you can come back here and go validate fix. Then Google will go in its own time, go back and scan that URL to make sure that you've done what you've said. And after a couple of days, it will come back to you and present, you know, that's fixed, and you'll see the lines change. I'll illustrate that on another. We've just loaded a new website last week, and they had a mobile usability problem. They didn't have any accelerated mobile pages. As you can see here, they had a whole lot of issues before we loaded it, and now the web page has been updated, and we've run the report to tell them, you know, we fixed it. And as you can see now, the error's kind of disappearing, and we don't have any more URLs that are no longer, or that are taking longer than 4 seconds to load, as we fixed it. So that's the kind of graphic you'd see. Let's go back. Let's have a look at mobile usability. I mean, this is core for these guys. So we don't have any mobile issues at the moment. Our page is loading well. It is, as you can see, we fixed a whole bunch of things to make it a lot more mobile friendly. We've worked through some of the challenges we've had, and things are looking better. Green is always great. That's I'm not going to get into some of the, let's have a look at security issues. In this case, we're lucky we've got no problems. And if they are, obviously it will tell you, you know, this is the problem, this is how we suggest you fix it. If you click on the little circle with the eye in it, you can go across to the information, and they'll tell you, you know, these are the suggestions, this is the kind of code to look at, this is the image, this is the problem, whatever it is. I'm not going to go through all of this because this is kind of going to disappear shortly. This is what the old Google Search Console, which used to be Webmaster Tools. This is all of this information in the old style. So as you can see, these guys have got external links on these pages to other people and to other websites. These are the top sites that they're connected to. So one part of SEO is creating backlinks. Short of picking up the phone or sending an email to somebody in another business and asking them for a backlink, you can go to companies like Hot Frog, Yellow Pages SA, and load your company details as you did in Google My Business, and that'll create a backlink into your website. Internal links are also good. As you can see, a lot of these pages have got links back into somewhere else in the website. So obviously the home page has got all the menus and all the services potentially, telephone numbers, email addresses, and a contact form. Those are counted as links. And this has probably got a link back to either the home page or another article. And that's classified as an internal link. So the last thing is on the ownership verification, you can see how we have verified this customer. And there are other ways that you can do it. Once we will be covering Google Analytics next week. And we're assuming you don't have a Google Analytics account for now, but that is another way that you can verify your Search Console web address. And this obviously becomes a lot more technical because you've got to copy some code and copy it into the header of each of the pages that you've got on your website or the header templates.